Good morning, everyone, and welcome. On behalf of Hexacorp, I'd like to extend a warm welcome and thank you for taking time to join us for today's webinar. How AI will reshape businesses, leadership, and careers by 2030. I'm Revati Kumar, your host for this session. Before we start, a quick note. If you have any questions during the session, please write it in the chat. Our experts will answer you via email. As AI continues to evolve at an unprecedented pace, businesses are reimagining operating models, leaders are redefining strategies, and employees are adapting to new ways of working. The question is no longer whether AI will impact our future, but how organizations and individuals can prepare for the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead. Today's session aims to provide valuable insights into these changes and helps us better understand what the next 5 years may look like in AI-driven world. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker, Swaminathan Ramasubramanian, who brings over 30 years of experience in IT leadership, enterprise transformation, and strategic advisory. Drawing from decades of experience helping organizations navigate change, Swami will share his insights on what the next wave of AI innovation means for businesses, leaders, and professionals as we move forward to 2030. Please join me in welcoming Swami. Swami, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Revati. It's a great honor and privilege to be here. Always it excites me when I come to Hexacorp. Good morning, everyone. Good day, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Wherever, whichever part of the globe you are working for Hexacorp. I've seen many technology revolutions in my career. This is not from this webinar. Why? AI-powered human enterprise. More from a business leader perspective. How technology enables. That's the primary objective here. Why AI? Right? Because I've seen training, right from the days of the mainframe, the legacy systems, to the client server and then the internet, right? And mobile disruption and AI now. But why AI? Okay. I wanted to share my perspective in 3 different phases in the whole next 30-40 minutes. One is about what's happening in the AI space. Second, my personal experiences, how AI becomes our part of the whole life. Okay, and the analogy what I can possibly share at the enterprise level, and not but the least, last but not the least, the behind the scenes what's happening. Okay, so just to be on the lighter note, I don't know when I started with Revati, I was how to address the people here. You call them as hexacorpians, or means people will say scorpions. Maybe people will take it differently. I'm an Aquarian. There is already a Gemini in the what I call the AI space. Same way, if I call scorpites, exocorpites, maybe it's slightly different, right? So I thought I will possibly give a different name. You all, any of belong to the corporate world, so I put hexacorporates. Okay, so welcome hexacorporates for this webinar. And most important thing, I just wanted to run through a small video. Okay.
From the moment you wake up, AI seamlessly optimizes your world, crafting a day designed specifically for you.
So that's how, call it whether you know AI has arrived, AI is going to come. All this is not there. You are living with AI right now. Okay, in every sphere of your life.
From the moment
That's
you wake
why
up,
okay.
AI seamlessly.
That's what inside. Some brief introduction. What you see is my AI version of AI cloning of me. No, I've been doing more than 3 decades of leadership and IT side and enterprise transformation, and I've been a C-suite level advisor. So beyond this, my background is primarily on delivery, account management, business transformation, business growth, and I have worked across many domains like retail, consumer goods, or what you call it as FMCG in India, and BFSI, and mostly on the insurance side and a little bit on the banking as well as security side, healthcare, education, media. But I think it's a wide gamut of experience. So what excites me today is it's not a question of 30 years of industry in the technology space. A gives me the excitement. I feel like a student again. Okay. So why AI is such a big deal now? Let's see. See, since the internet world, AI is probably the biggest disruption. Okay. Earlier, technology gave us automation, but AI gives us intelligence on demand. Key phrases is intelligence on demand. Suddenly, every employee can become really smarter, faster, more productive, more agile. There is an audience engagement, right? So many people must have been using the AI for a popular one, possibly the OpenAI's ChatGPT. Many using Claude or Gemini for the videos and things like that, right? But one thing for sure, after reading through many materials and as well as my own personal experience, what I would definitely say is there's always a fear, right? Will AI replace jobs? That's a very, I think the people are looking at it with the more of a jaundiced eyes. But one thing is for sure, the gap between the AI adopters and the non-adopters will widen very, very fast. That will distinguish the men from the boys. Okay, let me show you something very simple. A day in a life, how it begins.
Every day begins the same way, with a choice.
The future does not belong to the strongest. It belongs to those who learn faster. When intelligence becomes, the future does not belong to the strongest. It belongs to those who learn faster.
Hope you got the message. That's exactly what AI is already touching every part of life. Bro. So it's not a question of is AI coming? Are you using it intentionally? That's very important. Okay.
Every day begins.
Let me move this. So AI typically operates on three different levels, which is what I'm going to touch upon today. One is as a consumer of AI, what you experience. Second, how your personal experience are an analogy to the enterprise world, which Exacorp like company uses it. The personal AI is the one that's the big one. But your future competitive advantage may depend on this. How effectively you use AI as your personal intelligence amplifier. Let me do one thing. How I use personally AI to my advantage is what I'm going to possibly share in the next few slides. See, we all know an year back or a year and off back, if you look at all of Gmails, right? 25, 30 emails, you might have had to really search for the chains of the emails, what has to be responded to, whom you have to respond to, what are the actions, right? Today, most of you who are in the corporate world, I am sure now you are familiar on how to respond. It is nicely giving you a summarize and it nicely prioritizes. Meetings automatically, minutes are taken. So all these things you are as a personal secretary, you guys are very much, I'm sure you are familiar. And even drafting an email, absolutely no. right? And it breaks the barriers of inhibitions, right? Suppose even as small as, if you don't know, suppose you take a word called renaissance, how many is S, how many C, right? If you spell it, it's very difficult, right? You don't need to ask anyone. You don't feel be ashamed of it. You always have a private chat GPT to look at, right? That's how. But beyond that, thinking, decisions, relationship. Please understand, many of the people who adopt AI are thinking that my thinking is outsourced, which is not right. Actually, AI makes you eliminate unnecessary work. That is very, very important. It doesn't stop here. Let me talk about my some example here. This is where AI becomes little dangerous in a or lighter sense, but in a good way, in a positive way. People used to do earlier, they search, they read, they compare, they summarize, right? That's how it has happened. Information has been passed on historically like this. If you look at the slide, on the left, you see a graph, which is actually, I try to use this for my own health records. These are all my diabetic charts. There are some, what I call glucometers, which you attach in your shoulder, and every 3 minutes, the sugar readings are getting stored here. If it is beyond a point threshold, it goes. It gives you an alert beep. How every 3 minutes the body gets monitored by the glucometers. Okay. So typically in a diabetic world, anything less than 70 is called as a hypoglycemia, it's low sugar, and more than 180 is called high sugar. But by and large, 70 to 180 is absolutely a normal range. Most of these glucometers are built in. Those have sensors that records this. On the left hand side, if you see 31st May, I'm perfectly doing pretty good, except for the look at the some orange bubble on the top. The graph goes little on the upper side. That is post my breakfast. If you look at the time also, which may not be fully visible to you, it's post 9 o'clock. So it's my after the post meal, after my breakfast, slightly shoots up. My doctor said, you're doing pretty well, except for this. Then he said, I'm going to reduce now to your 180 as an upper control limit. I'm going to bring down to 140. That's pretty aggressive, but you have to maintain that. Let me see. So retain at 70, don't go beyond, but that's fine. So what he said, the tool does not, the machine, the glucometer, what I attach does not have a provision to what you call set this upper control limit or modify this, because that's a standard, universal standard. By and large, people do that. Okay. Now, I almost more than 400 readings we take for a week. So 2-3 weeks I monitored this way, and then found out use Claude to do a complete analysis of 2-3 weeks report every 3 minutes. There's a particular data point. Okay. Then it came. This is where you stand when the UCL or the LCL from 70 to 140. How do you really look at? And at what stage? Early morning, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. If it's going beyond the threshold level, there is an alert and the beep. Okay. So those are the way I use AI as a research assistant. Though it's a personal record, I wanted to share with you how. Okay. Similarly, there are things like competition, how it happens in real world, right? There is a community in which I live. It has got around 3,000 houses. Uh, you know, it's a big gated community, one of the biggest in Chennai, but there is always a problem. What happens is every now and then you used to get an email, our water treatment plant is down, both sewage water as well as the other normal water, which you call as WTP and STP, is down. And people immediately, 2 or 3 hours there's a downtime. And it happens on a regular basis. Then I thought, why? There should be some mechanism. But nobody had any data, except for we have 175 emails. So I did said last 3 years data. I did analysis using Claude, and it gave me a wonderful report. There are some 40, 50 blocks in our zones. Each apartment is categorized into a zone, and in this 1 to 40 blocks are there. Which are the blocks getting mostly affected? Where the pipes exactly gets leaked or burst due to the high pressure. So those are the vulnerable points. So all this data I've analyzed, and I 3 o'clock. What are the heat maps also I drew using Claude, and I was able to find out which are the blocks quite affected, when, what time, which month. So entire 3 year data, when I did the analysis, it's as good as no the entire infrastructure data is analyzed, and I gave it to the mine apartment association, and then they said this is good input, but now we will call a civil engineer who will look at understanding where is the problem. The quality of the materials are fantastic, but the joints are the issue, which we are now working on the joints and to solve this. The reason why I'm telling you is that look at every opportunity where AI makes you more productive, more decisive, and decision has to be based on not on hearsay. Data are great, but insights are more important. Okay, where frequent failures occur. So this is one aspect. So one I covered as a secretary, use as a research analyst, use as an infrastructure analyst here, and not just for the out of curiosity and a fun use case. Recently, Tamil Nadu has undergone an election. Okay, what he did was let me okay, what he did was who is going to win? What is the model we are going to use? Okay, so I completely went to the Tamil Nadu Election Commission and took the sites. Okay, and did site data, and I looked at all the data, and I see what are the possible total registered voters, how many male, how many female, less than 30 voters. Is there any, so many, in Tamil Nadu, caste equation, religion equation, traditionally who have voted to whom. Like a cephalogist, we all look at it, and I want to try this out. So I did that, okay? And then, is there any anti-incumbency? Is there any currently voting percentage? How much it is increasing now? All assumptions we have. How much? Sometimes you may have to look at it money factors, right? So all these things you calculate how much the alliances vote gets transferred, right? So all these things have developed into a model, and 234 assembly constituencies individually I looked at, and then we called as where we stand today, what are the major parties, what are the final summary seats. So don't worry about the results. What is it? Because everywhere, you see, like many poll pundits, many cephalogists, I to struggle at the results. Okay, that's a different thing. But what is important is such a level of data today, it is all possible. How you relate this to your corporate world, let's see as we will. Now we talked about analyst, research, infrastructure, and then of course, as a secretary. There is a lot of personal, because I being more of a person who are more tuned to the fine arts and always love creating something new, be it a music, be it a video, taking a short films, right? So as a creative partner also, I wanted to explore AI here. Okay, some of the ads. This is an ad what we're going to see is actually for a filter coffee ad which I developed using some of the AI tools, which you may enjoy. You could see three different generations still the coffee. The look at the sound, look at the quality of the video, look at the background. See, real life like scenarios. It's all possible. So I, as a more out of curiosity, I tried all these things because all this storytelling we still use in the corporate world when we bid for a RFP or a proposal.
Subrapatha, a divine flavor which even God cannot resist.
Hope you are enjoying this. Okay. So this is one. Now, see, how did you do that? There is a concept, there is a script, you need to have storyboards. Of course, music, audio is different. Finally, you render. Exactly the same way you do it in a corporate world. There is a problem statement, there is a model which you approach, there is an architecture, there is no, this is how my sequence of events is going to be there. Finally, this is the solution you're going to give, right? Now, I will give you some of the short films, just a clip only, not just to, make your see this.
Anyone there?
See, this is, you are able to see an office security personnel in the night saying, he is saying some sound, he is able to hear something, right? So he sees that. See, look at the level of the camera, look at the level of the perfection. See, I'm not a professional filmmaker, but but I have a fair idea. But this level of thing, you can also do that is one of the thought process I want to share. There's another security. I'll tell you. This is another clip. This is in a corporate world. See, some employees got stuck up in a office. So he is seeing there's somebody knocking. He wants to come out. So the people who are on the patrolling is able to see that. The reason I'm providing is all beyond the official thing. There are a lot of creative stuff also. It's possible. The entire AI video ecosystem is built on. I use ideation. For ideation, I use ChatGPT. Then for orchestration, I use Google Flow. Google Wits I use for generation. Canva is one of my I'm very comfortable on that to integrate all the videos and polish it. So this is how. But before that, you should also learn prompt is an engineering. So which I'll talk it in my later slides. What you have to do. So this is a thing. Prompting is an art. I more than the science, I would call it as art. The three things matters: specific, what is the context. There will be many things you may have to do an iteration. Always give an example or analogy that easily understands. Okay. Bad prompt, write a proposal. Something like that. No, if you what is a good, you have to give the good prompt as well as the typically when you do a software testing, right? You do a boundary condition, you should do a negative condition, right? Exactly the same way, you should show what you should not contain also you should say. So all these things, if you put into a business case, it will work well. Now, let me come to the proposal writing. You get an RFP, and the RFP runs into, if you get into the government RFP, it will be given hundreds of pages. Typically in RFP, you get the contract terms and conditions, service level agreement, scope, primarily architecture, the solution, right? You need to stitch together the umpteen things, right? So how will you read? What is it? There are different departments will work on this, right? So now so what I took was one sample RFP, and then how structured you can look at it. So all this, I'm sure a lot of salespeople or the pre-sales people will be here. They will look at it. Let me look at this and then show some of the how it works here. Let me just give a second. Okay. Sorry. RFP scope analysis. See, the entire RFP is for an education sector. in US for a US university. But finally, if you look at it, what is red but never skip? What is an amber? Needs clarification and planning. Green lowers risk and strength. So entire RFP it reads and gives no. This is a scope in SaaS platform, and no, you'll have statistical machine language models, and there is a no. You'll have a different. It is a data science oriented analytics. What you call a product. So what type of model you should use? What are the dashboards, intervention templates? If there is a problem, how automatically intelligence are built so that it intervenes. Okay. So what is RED? Student Data Privacy Law. So in US, a lot of this something called FERPA. So you have to be FERPA compliant. Okay. So that is very, very important. Similarly, wrong predictions, because government of America, US, United States of America is actually spending a lot of money for the weaker section of the people. They wanted to make sure all those funds or grants are properly utilized. So even one wrong prediction, somebody is not really what you call his grades are low and is not really picking up. We have to give the right intervention model so that the eventual outcome is beneficial. That's extremely important for the whole purpose of this thing. Okay. Similarly, data residency, hosting, these are all amber. Okay. So we need to look at this. Terms and conditions, don't sign without this. It warns you. Okay. Don't have any, you have a very clear acceptance criteria. Don't have any, all these things are very, very important. So some of the things like data, IP rights, right? Currently it's a model, whatever they have specified is perfectly okay with that. Architecture, what are the architectural consideration you should look at it? In the learning management system, in a student information system, in a CRM, what are the things you should look at it? So all these layers has to be looked at, and from an architectural perspective, what is green, what is amber, what is you can red, you should focus. Red is here very clear, you without, it's a must to have. It's not nice to have, it's a must to have. Okay. So also in most of the RFPs, you will see what are the relevant case studies. Is it really relevant? So it will give you maybe a different industry, but it is relevant to the solution, relevant to the RFP requirement. So those things also can point out. So overall, I'm going to win a deal. What is my winning strategy in a nutshell? What you should must do, what you should do, what you should not do, nice to have. All those things are looked at it, right? So this is how an RFP can be looked at it. Let me come. Okay, right. All the demand generation, right? AI for hunting. Look at this. Demand generation, typically, you do a competitive analysis, how your competition is performing. So those types of, suppose how in the past you have won a deal in a particular client for X car. Suppose his business is not growing, what we should do? Do we need to do a radiation? Do you need to cross sell? Do you need to upsell? What are the things? Can we put a staff augmentation model to get into those? It's all possible. The reason why I'm telling you is, guys, you people who are in the hunting, you people are in the sales, you people are in the pre-sales, you are facing the customer. It's extremely important. Think in these directions and do your demand generation. Will be intelligence will be well driven. Okay. So the faster pipeline, if it's the pipeline is dry, what should we do that? Right? Look at all those things. Entire account management plan itself, you can plan like that. This is another thing like called sales strategy. So sales strategy is one where how is your vis-a-vis, how are you as an organization performing vis-a-vis your competition, right? So let me see one of the consumer goods industry leader, I cannot name that, but still they are into multiple, let us look at, they are into cookies, they make premium creams, they make, crackers, they make wafers, right? If you look at the top priority actions for the CXO, there are hundreds of Excel sheets in data. I use Claude to find out, hey, what are the top 5 priority actions for the CXO decisions here? Urgent trade scheme defense. The first one is in urgent. Why? Because, in cookies, more grammage offer. That means somebody is 10 biscuits are there, the weight is different, 100 grams. Now it's making somebody is offering 134 grams, you are likely to lose there. So you have to quickly look at that. Second is the cream, high priority in consumer business, right? So 17% above jam, it's there in the market. Competition, every competition is being benchmarked and against which how this leader has to perform. Okay, what is the white space? Nobody has penetrated there, but still we have a very good chance. Look at the white space. Strategically, it will sustain the model. For example, in the fourth one, Karnataka Tamil Nadu model, if you look at it, these things are extremely croissants, 50-50. You look at that model and South Zone, all these things it will give you. So, from a CXO perspective, from a leadership perspective, they look at it here and then take a call on this. So completely, this is all decision making, how it helps here. Okay. Now, account mining, as we talked about earlier, this you can do that upsell, cross sell, renewal. Some of the renewals of the contract may be at risk. Sales guys need to look at it. Okay, growth becomes more proactive instead of reactive. Last but not the least, people always say, most of the top leadership will come and talk. People are the greatest assets, but in reality, there are people, getting the right people are still a bottleneck even after 40-50 years we are in the IT industry, service industry. So what I did was look at AI talent for acquisition. Talent, you have to acquire the talent, you have to transform the talent, you have to retain the talent. If I'm sure there will be some HR person in the organization who will be in the part of this call, they should look at it. There are people who are looking at from the recruitment side, they should look at it. So here I'm going to show you something like this. Okay, look at this. There are plenty of resume that's coming today. Whether the resume are genuine or not, you have to wait out. How do you match this job description? There are 10 different skills which will have a depth, which will have a breadth of skills, right? So people look at it. And how do you map this particular people to the job description? How close you are? So the individual resume, if you look at it, what are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? What are the opportunities? What are the threats? If you look at overall summary, somebody likes a decision maker, like with experience fit, 7 out of 10. Role and domain fit, perfectly good, close match. From a domain perspective, you must have worked in media, worked with healthcare, worked with banking, whatever is relevant, right? So the screening decision is taken by using enabling the AI. Okay, that merits the next level conversation. So the entire time, look at how many people are involved in shortlisting resume, arranging a resume, finalizing a resume, and entire thing goes to a customer and customer rejects. Look, these are all great stuff. You need to really look at that. I'm sure if I remember correctly, Hexacorp is somewhere in this direction have started working on this. I know for sure. Okay. Uh, there are apart from this, there are key takeaways. Strong SAC expertise is there, so that will help. So these types of small additional thing you can look at it. A for learning and transformation. Similarly, one person training for 500 people, same content, same speed, right? I think that doesn't work anymore. What is the exact, do a skill gap analysis and exactly point out that gap. If you fit by way of a training, AI can enable that. So that's the personalized learning, role-based learning, adaptive learning, right? So these types of learning becomes individualized at scales. Okay, so that way it's not just talent acquisition, it is talent transformation. Similarly, which are the people who are at risk? What is the exit interviews feedback? How an organization can look at the sentiment analysis, right? So how can we make sure people are retained here, and how can we engage them without burning out? All these things are possible with this. So beyond this, the most important thing is a delivery excellence. Quality always, project managers primary thing is to ensure quality, cost and schedule, right? So typically all these things work here. How you do a defect prevention, defect analysis, typically you do an RCA, root cause analysis. what will happen, why it's failed. It's all postmortem, right? But if you look at it, why it failed, that defect should not occur again. Typically in a software industry world, I know for sure, there's something called CAPA, corrective and preventive action. So audit will come and then say these are the gaps, right? But people will do a corrective preventive action, they will write on the paper, but it never really happens that is permanently it's fixed. But AI will preempt that and so that the entire quality comes robust. Same thing, agile. Agile is not dead, but bad agile is dead. Okay, so AI improves the every agile ceremony, be it a story creation or acceptance criteria or a test case, or look at the backlogs, look at the retrospectives, look at burnout velocity, all these things. Typically in an agile, you can use that with the age of AI. So these are all typically, our project managers. If you ask any of the project managers, where does his time goes on? Majority of the time he spends time on the reporting side because he has to report to the management. He has to report to his boss, right? I think, don't you think he has to spend more on the delivery quality? Don't you think he has to look at the more of the customer expectation? That is exactly what automating all the status reports and all those things, make sure that delivery is really, imperfect. The customer satisfaction survey is a very, very important tool. Different models are there, like AC Nielsen. There are big names in the market who can do also independently customer survey. They are all, what is happening, what does the customer actually think about you? So all these things are all happening. It comes in a mail, it comes in a tool, you send a customer satisfaction form, right? But tell me something, how do you have, what is the pattern analysis you are doing it? Are there any similar patterns there? Will the feedback again going back to as an action in the whole system, which we call as entire supply chain of IT services industry? Now let me talk about some innovation part of it. Exacop like organization should have an AI for ideation. Give most important is it can generate 20 ideas, 50 options, multiple scenarios in minutes. What is important? AI brings a whole, it's completely entire process is democratized. Anybody can throw an an idea and bounce back an idea. Hey, I am working in my vendor management. I'm working in my quality team. I'm working in the testing team. I'm working in the pre-sales team. See, where are the gaps? Do an analysis. Those pattern AI enables you, and then your managers can look at the feasibility of implementing it very quickly without any difficulty. These are all, that's how the entire thing is using. But I don't believe in generally, all these things. We should have a 90 future workforce. I'll talk about the future workforce, the competency. Tomorrow, every employee are going to have something, an AI assistant, AI analyst, AI researcher, AI coach, whatever we have seen so far. You all have the flexibility and what you call the great comfort of having it. So the workforce will not be replaced. The workforce will be augmented. So top talent with AI will outperform top talent without AI. So that is the change the enterprise is seeing today. The future enterprise will look at it. AI has its own risks and responsibilities. There are some governance issues will be there. AI will sit across sales, it's entire what I call as a supply chain of the entire service industry, right from sales, pre-sales, talent, delivery, finance, support, all the entire gamut of the supply chain you can see it. But that speed without governance is very dangerous. That is why there are a lot of responsibilities also. How to use AI makes a lot of sense for us. Okay. So always think big, but take small and implement and pilot it. And that's the 90-day AI adoption plan organization should have. Okay, I'm sure a lot of leaders will be watching this. Look at that, find out the process, pilot and learn, 2 or 3 projects, be it in HR, be it in quality, be it in the requirement gathering exercise, being in customer engagement, be it in what you call pre-sales. Look at that and then see how AI is really taking you places. So key takeaways I would like to mention is this is how exactly every employee needs AI fluency. I have not talked about agentic AI here because that's the next frontier. That's a very different area. I will time will quite short to do in depth. It's not fair on my part to take at that. And also I have consciously excluded Copilot because you guys are Microsoft shop primarily, and you do a lot of knowledge in Copilot. I know. Similar Note LLM is also a pretty interesting tool, which I don't want to. So don't look at what tools is important. Understand the concepts. That's very important. Okay. So adopt it. That's more important. Net, human plus AI is the new reality that you need to leverage it. Future winners will be on human judgment, human creativity, and human empathy for the people. With AI, AI will give you speed, scale, precision, and the agility. So human or AI is not the wrong, it's a very wrong debate. Human plus AI is the right model. Okay. Now let's stop and look at some bigger question. What is intelligence? This is a big area, but I'll just keep only with 3 slides, and so that I want to focus on the 3 different slides and close that. Okay. Here is intelligence is a very capacity for learning, reasoning, and understanding, right? We all know that. But there are scientists have developed intelligence in 9 different ways. Okay. Those are primarily linguistic, logical, mathematical. Some of you guys may be an analytical suit, that's very logical and mathematical. Some are very proficient in the language way in which you communicate, right? Linguistic, spatial, about the space, location, geometric, right? Look at that. Some are the very artistic, musical, interpersonal. So these are the 9 different bucketed different skills, though call it different names. I bucketed the primary 4 are very, I'll group it into 4. Okay. So that is how human, what happens is human intelligence, why AI is special than the conventional automation technology earlier brought up is different AI specialize in different domains. For example, language ChatGPT, when you call about vision, image AI, or the video, the Google things like Gemini. Music, there are things like Sono you must have seen, 11 Labs you must have seen, right? There are reasoning advanced models are there. So many specialized intelligences built in one thing. What is ultimately AI is trying to do? To replicate and eventually surpass human capability across all intelligence domains. That means seeing, hearing, speaking, reasoning. Look at all our sensory items, right? Creating. AI started with automation. Now it's moving towards intelligence replication. But not all AI is the same. Okay. Let's look at these are all you must have also you definitely these informations are available, but in the net as well as any AI tools will give you what is predictive AI, what will happen, prescriptive AI, what should we do, perceptive AI, what is this data? Okay, so each one is given an example. Weather forecast is a predictive one, Google Maps is a prescriptive one, right? Email spam detection is all about perceptive AI, right? So look at that. Given this, I'll just move to the. I'm not covering the other stuff. There are 2 engines which we will talk about. LLM is a very important area which will take. Large language model is all about text, how it reads the text. You must have heard the word tokens and tokenizations, right? So it breaks into different parts and understands there are trillion transactions, trillions permutation combinations one has every model brings in. And that's why AI thinks ahead. It's not a question of the key challenge is not AI responding to you. What are the thing that is going to come the next is what is all AI's primary thing is all about. Okay. So works with the text, language, reasoning, and diffusion model. Works with images, video, visuals, and analogy. Think LLM as a brain, diffusion and artist. I always call this whole stuff AI itself as a canvas of it's something like a violin, and you as an individual as a violinist. Okay, look at that. So one understands, one creates. Together, this magic happens. Okay, so I will not look at the other stuff. It's more of whatever I said in the summarize. This is where it is. And the AI model landscape, I told you there are three important slides. I will definitely look at this. It's all about, see, look at, there are two farmers. One is saying, I'm going to put this seed, I'm going to put for pumpkin, I'm going to put for watermelon, I'm going to look at this. The other fellow comes back and tells, I will look at the soil, I will look at the yield, I will look at the what is the water absorption capacity, how much sunlight is going to come. Look at who is the better farmer, right? So that is exactly what is all about. That is LLM. So model, we talked about tokenization, embeddings, contextualization, everything. See, there is something called transformer. Actually, it's the brain which converts into this. I think these are all very technical, which we'll definitely talk. This is very important here. This is what I want to, 3 slides of. See, look at the slide. It understands. It is like a smartphone market. Okay. There are many places. You see in this road, people are crossing, children are there, cyclists are going, and then cars are there. There's a traffic light, there's a signal, right? There is a pole. If you are a human being, if I ask you what is in this picture, you will answer all these things, right? Like that. Many players like OpenAI, each company is strong in one area, be it Meta, Anthropic, Snow, 11 Labs, which talked about. Example, text, chat GBT, right? These are all good for writing, summarizing, coding, analysis, image, right? These are all good for posters, creative images, all those stuff. Many things. Flow widgets are different. VO is a very important thing. So these are all these things I used for make the ad film, the storytelling, the short video. A lot of short stories also. I have done some short films in this. So voice cloning is also happening. So all these things, AI is no longer just one technology. It's a large ecosystem of tools. What you should say, think of this, the impact player concept, right? You don't ask who is the best player. Possibly 10 years back, we would have called Sachin Tendulkar. Then we would have called Virat Kohli, right? Now, right, we call this Suryavamshi, right? So now your question is slightly rephrased. Who is best for batting? Who is the best for bowling? Who is the best for fielding? Same with AI. That analogy is what I'm taking. So everyone has got a different tool. Look at that. Now, the same thing I told you about soil, the two farmers. Exactly. What are they doing? Architecture is shared, not siloed. Modality is expanding rapidly. Understand the soil, not the seed. Okay. Tokenization, exactly. Now, how it embeds, right? So these are the AI predicts. The biggest strength is AI predicts what is the next most likely word. That's the LLM model. Okay. So you can look at this. If you go to the Marina Beach, exactly same way. There are a lot of crowd there. There's a waves. There are local vendors available, right? There are panipuri walas available. Look at this. All these things, the human mind captures that way. Visualization, like a cinematographer. AI brings everything and reads this. Okay. And machines converts, no, in text, it converts into numbers. Exactly. The more closer the number, it has a mathematical model. For example, cricket, bat, and ball, it will always sit close together. Transformer, this is the brain. So AI studies relationship between the words. What is the next word is going to come, right? So that's the magic. So use this. Suppose I say India won dash. Most of us will say match, cricket match. Some people will say World Cup. Some people will say. So most important thing is AI is super intelligent. Okay, but instead of predicting just one in WhatsApp, it predicts the entire paragraphs, images, code, music, videos. Okay, these are the 3 things I thought I would share. And the last, I think I have. So today's you have seen software as a service model. There are popular things like Salesforce, right? Zoom is all the part of the SaaS model, Netflix. Then we are seeing the function as a service, right? Even infrastructure as a service, cloud computing. thanks to cloud, right? Platform as a service came, right? Now, you look at the examples you see, you are able to see that, right? Office 365 SaaS model. Similarly, PaaS and SaaS and LaaS, right? All those stuff. But now, model as a service is also emerging post the eventual takeoff of the AI. Okay? Typically, it's all like recipes. You will have put the ingredients, the methodology, the procedure, how to work together, right? Then you have tools. We talked about many tools here, right? Then the how it reads so many mail, there are something called connectors, MCP model. There were all some, you have to look at that. No? Finally, the solution, what you call it as a dish, the real problem is getting solved. So exactly, that's what I wanted to share at this point of time. There are multiple prompting techniques are there. I can share the presentation with Exacop, and they are already having that. You can always know take them and for your further reading. And most important thing is which of the prompt, how to use it are very important. Your prompt has to be specific and detailed. Use positive and negative. Step by step reasoning for complete. No, it's a larger analysis type of work. If you are having able to get XML tags, please do that. No, length and format, all these things, right? 100 words, within 200 words, within 4,000 words, a lot of things are there. Keep on iterating and refine till AI are bound to make mistakes. It is our job to ensure, given the right prompt, right testing, right verification, all these things. Okay, so choose the skill, what is important here, and connect the two, apply the prompting, iterate and save. Okay, so simple question, just ask clearly. Some tips I have given here. Complex reasoning, give the step by step. Strategy or planning, give the multiple approaches. Not don't you may have the same model with different tools and get a different outputs possible. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share. I'm sure you all would have got some sense of the curiosity in you how to utilize AI in corporate world. It's not just analysis. It's not about research. It's not about the personal secretary. It's not about what I call your creativity, how to respond to an RFP. You all need to look at a 90-day program. Think big, but take small and implement and pilot, run. That's all I want to say. Have a great evening. Thank you, Revati.
Thank you. Thank you, Swami. That was an insightful and wonderful session. We sincerely appreciate the time, expertise, and experience you've shared us with us today. So thank you all our attendees for joining us today. For queries, please write to info@hexacorp.com. Please follow our LinkedIn page. The link is mentioned in the chat. Explore our services. Please visit www.hexacorp.com. Have a great day ahead. Stay tuned for the next. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Exo Corporate. Thank you.
Thank you.